Is Flemington the bitchiest area in Melbourne? I think it might be because I lived in the area for 4.5 years and I was on the receiving end of bitchiness and bullying every single day that I lived there. I moved into the Flemington area a couple of weeks before giving birth to my daughter. I was single and I was living alone in a one-bedroom flat. All my stuff was in storage, and I didn't get the chance to get it out and set up my flat before my daughter was born. I was at home when my water broke, and I ended up in hospital where I gave birth to my daughter by caesarean section. A woman from the Salvation Army came into the hospital to see me because I had no family in Melbourne and I'd broken up with my daughter's father before she was born. My situation was bad, but it was also good because I had somewhere to live and I had a beautiful baby that I wanted to take home and care for. When I got released from hospital, I went home to my flat and the bullying and the bitchiness started straight away. My new flat was close to Flemington, so I used to use the shops and the library in Racecourse Road, which you can see here. When I first had my daughter, I would do my shopping at Newmarket Plaza, but the bullying got so bad, I later started going to other suburbs to buy my groceries. Bitchy housewives would demand that I stepped out of their way so they could barrel down the middle of the footpath. Some bitches would assert themselves against me by deliberately clipping the wheels of my pram as they walked past me. I was recovering from surgery, which was very painful, and I had a newborn baby in my pram. So walking in a straight line was hard, let alone having to sidestep the local bitches. Sometimes when I was at the supermarket, a bitch would actually push my pram out of the store with my daughter in it when I had my back turned to pay for my groceries. This caused me a huge amount of distress. I'd have to walk out of the store to get my daughter and then come back to the register, and someone else would be standing there, and I wouldn't understand what was going on. I can't imagine why a bitch would move someone else's pram with their baby in it, but Flemington is a very bitchy area. Sometimes when I was standing at the pedestrian lights, bitches would hit the back of my legs by pushing their kid's pram into me rather than just walking around me. Some of the bitchiest bitches in the area were the wives of cops who worked at Flemington Police Station. These women seemed to think that because they were married to cops, they were entitled to walk around the suburb ripping other women's heads off. Anyway, I was bullied by several bitches in the Flemington area, but one in particular was really nasty. This woman would follow me down the street, make nasty remarks about my clothes and my body, and she even made racist remarks about my daughter. This is a photo of me and my daughter at the park. So, this is what I look like a couple of months after giving birth, which I thought was okay. Um, that bitch shouldn't have been walking around insulting me, but it was especially sick because I was breastfeeding. I breastfed my daughter for 3 years and she was never given a bottle. So that meant that I was eating to feed my daughter. But regardless of my situation, that bitch never should have targeted me. To make matters worse, I found out that the nasty bitch was married to a police officer who worked at Flemington Police Station. Her husband was a non uniform officer. He had red hair that he would slick back with gel and acne scars on his face, and he would wear loose denim jeans and a t shirt and would often be seen standing on Racecourse Road eating or talking to the nasty bitch. Looking back at it, it is strange to think that a cop had the time to stand around talking to his wife while he was on duty, but that sort of behaviour was common when I lived in the Flemington area. I never said anything back to the nasty bitch, and I think that being married to a police officer made her think that she was untouchable. I know other people were aware of the nasty bitch's behaviour, but no one ever bothered to do anything about it. I also think that people underestimate how serious this sort of bullying can be. I don't know if you call it housewife bullying or mum bullying, but whatever people call it, people need to talk about it and raise awareness about it on social media. This nasty bitch damaged my life by making those first years with my daughter harder than they should have been. It was especially cruel when you consider the imbalance of power that existed. This nasty bitch was married to a cop who worked at the local police station, and I was a single mum who was new to the area and had no living relatives in Melbourne. I think it's fair to say that the nasty bitch sensed that I was vulnerable and took advantage of that. I wasn't on social media back then, but it's possible that if I was, I could have stopped her behaviour. So, what I would say to anyone who is going through a similar situation is that you need to speak up. You need to tell your story, and social media gives you a platform to do that. So, why not?